From fine artists to rising opera stars like Luvo Maranti, our most exciting creatives have long benefited from the support of patrons. This is the home of one of the most spirited of those supporters.
My name is Lady Linda Wong Davies, ethnically Chinese, born in Singapore, but grew up in Malaysia and educated in America. Then I got married and lived for many, many years in England and Ireland. And in the midst of all of that, we found a very beautiful home here, where my husband and I and our children have enjoyed 30 years of great happiness and sunshine. My then husband had a refining business with the mine, so we came here a lot. And being a typically British gentleman, he's always looking for sun. So he was saying, we need to find a summer home, and I thought, we don't need another home. But I indulged him, and we came round to this neck of the woods, as they say. I walked into this magnificent home, and 31 years ago it was very run down, but nevertheless we could see beyond the dereliction. And at that time we were also looking to move over here a little bit more with our art collection from Hong Kong, where we were living at that time. And all I was interested in was wall space and volume. And I walked in here, and this was exactly what I got, with sunshine on top of it.
Along with all the natural vitamin D, Lady Linda discovered an incredibly rich wellspring of local art.
Here we are in the living room or the drawing room. Here you'll see a sculpture by Nicola Roos, a wonderful young South African sculptor. And this is one of her graduation pieces. And it is entirely made out of rubber tires. And it's based on a true story of a samurai, but from South Africa. He was a slave. And I love him because he's like my bodyguard, but he has the most gentle face. Well, of course, this is a sculptor, Dylan Lewis, one of his many famous leopards and cat series. And I rather love this little bird here, standing next to my dad, Dr. Katy Wong of the Katy Wong Foundation.
A businessman and philanthropist, Mr. Wong instilled in his daughter a love of music and the arts.
Well, the foundation was founded in memory of my dearest papa, and that spurred me on to create a foundation that was international. It's based in the UK, but we do work internationally all over the world. Our mission is to find a way to use culture as an exchange between China and, at that time, UK, France, and Italy and Germany, where we were doing a lot of things, and to bring, I hope, more Chinese things in history and interesting art as well over here, and musical talent to South Africa, to particularly Cape Town or Johannesburg as well. We've done many things here already in Cape Town, assisting and sponsoring and nurturing, opera, music, classical music, and art. And I'm hoping that with Operalia happening here, that this will also highlight the great African budding talent, budding voices.
Among the most exciting has been Eastern Cape chorister turned opera star Luvo Maranti.
Ingrato, te pigliata vita mia.
Luvo's name came up, and in fact, at the launch of Opera UCT, they had about 10 singers there, but Mr. Luvo here was the one that stood out for me. Little did I know that he was going to be selected as one of the 5 South African contestants for the International Operalia competition.
The Operalia competition is the World Opera competition. It's there to help young talents and to give them an opportunity to be seen in the world. In a way, it's where the spotlight is for you to kickstart your career.
For Lady Linda, bridging cultures through art starts at home.
So here we're in the dining room. I'm very pleased that I have managed to collect some David Goldblatt. We have these 2 photographs of these little boys playing the violin somewhere in Africa. And that's, of course, what we do, the Foundation for Education and Cultural Exchange, and educating the young and supporting them. And this is a Chinese painting behind me by Liu Kuo-sung, and he has this very special technique, and it's called The Rising Suns. Behind this floral arrangement is another Liu Kuo-sung painting of mountains and sunsets. And these two fantastic, great 19th century elm wood cupboards. And above them are two lovely young men, mid-19th century Burmese altar boys. Normally they would be holding something, flowers or a lantern on this, as they live just up there. And they've been there again, I guess, 30 years, with the occasional clean, of course. But for me, a personal great favorite is this extraordinary weave of like a net of wire of a coelacanth, of course the fish of South Africa. And it's by a fabulous artist called Walter Altman, who lives in Joburg, and he's done this all by his own hand. And I knew the right wall to put it on because I want him to face the ocean where he wants to go to.
This is a collector who respects the widest range of art skills, making space for the traditional and classical.
The layout of the garden is, well, it's been here for over 30 years, and I've been here 30 years. So the land structure itself is very steady. It was landscaped. The house was built by the British Admiral, I think the last British Admiral. As you can see, this wonderful Indian Ocean out there. There's a second garden below, which is really what I call my lost garden. Here we have this beautiful lawn and this balustrade, which is very 1930s. So it's very red sails in the sunset, that sort of period, Noel Coward. So, I mean, the house with these beautiful palms as well, and then this extraordinary pine tree behind me, that is very redolent of something Asian, Chinese, not Japanese, more Chinese. It's a very Chinese feeling, poetic feeling, which I love. So here we have a wonderful sculpture by a Zimbabwean artist. And what's so incredible about this is that it's one piece of wood. And as you can see, it's a lion with his magnificent tail. And then he's swallowing a snake.
From its terraced garden to the sweeping interiors, this home was designed for entertaining on a grand scale.
In the dining room, we had the rising suns. In the hall here, we have the moon, and with this magnificent display of flowers to greet all the guests. Eclectic, a mixture of everything, my background. I have lived and grown up all over the world. So the Asian, of course, is very intrinsically bred in. That will not change. But the European, the Western, and the African, which is so fantastic and so beguiling. And maybe once you fall in love with this part of the world, it's very difficult to leave it, and especially this part of the world. I've just had an epic journey.
May Lady Linda and her home host decades more of South Africa building bridges across the oceans.